Yeah, once again, good afternoon. We are in Unit 2, Section 5. And in Section 5, we are dealing with the lecture and explanation teaching. And in this session, or by the end of this session, you should be able to explain the features of the lecture techniques of learning and explain the merits and 3 demerits of the lecture methods of teaching. So, normally, you see the lecture is another name for speech. Usually, the lecture will be in front of the classroom and recite information relevant to the content. The lecture method is normally fancied when we have a large class. So, it's very effective communicating to large class. Now, let's come to some of the divisions that we have. A lecture is a method of imparting information through a speech. It is an oral presentation intended to present information or teach people about a particular subject. The lecture method is convenient and usually makes the most sense, especially when you have large class. This, I've said it already. Because in this case, the lecture addresses all the students at once while still conveying the same information that he or she feels is most important according to the lesson plans. It can be used to arouse students' interest in a subject provided the teacher has effective writing and speaking skills. So additionally, teachers use lecture heavily in mathematics instructions. Most mathematics teachers use the lecture method with little or no student participatory. Lecture explanation without any student participation should not exceed 10 to 20% of the lesson time. The lecture or the teacher explaining things through the lecture method to the students without the student's participation should not exceed more than 6% of the lesson. Asking student questions during the lesson is an example of techniques designed to create student involvement. Modern lectures generally incorporate additional activities, i.e. writing on the chalkboard, exercises, class questioning and discussion, student presentations, etc. So that's the modern way of lectures, but the traditional lectures isn't like that. Procedure. In using the lecture method of teaching, the teacher speaks and the students listen. That's what happens. The teacher speaks and that's the students will just be listening. Then the teacher gives ideas and learning takes place. The teacher gives ideas and the learner takes them. Then the lecture method takes the form of one-man show where the learner remains passive. It's not active. It's a one-man show. The teacher does everything. The learner just sit down and listen. Ways of increasing effectiveness of the lecture method. So this, as you are saying, there's no bad method. So even if there's a lecture method, we can improve it. So we say ways of increasing the effectiveness. State instructional objectives clearly. Both the teacher and the students must know what they want to accomplish at all times. So at the end of the lesson, the student should know what he's supposed to achieve. The teacher should also know what he or she is supposed to achieve. So you need to state the objective clearly. Learning activities must match the desired objectives. Inappropriate activities waste time of the teacher and the student. So you need to know the kind of activities that you are going to put in place. Learning activities must be appropriate for each learner and must have a reasonable good chance of being successful. So there are several individuals in the class and all these individuals must be taken care of. So the learning activities must be such that all the individuals must have or must benefit from the lecture. Teacher must do everything possible to ensure maximum time on task during periods. So the instructional periods, the teacher must make sure that he maximizes the time. No time should be wasted. Teachers should maintain an academic focus during the lesson or the learning activities. Teachers should provide academic feedback of students' work. Then the teacher should handle discipline problems promptly. The merits of the lecture method. Lectures are quick, cheap, and effective way of introducing large number of students to a particular topic. So he said they are quick and cheap way. It gives a quick exposure to the new materials, greater teacher control of the classroom, and facilitate large class communication. So this is some of the main or the side merits of the lecture method. Now let's come to the main point. The method is suitable when the class size is large, and it ensures all students are provided with equal opportunities. It is suitable when heavy syllabus is to be covered in a short time. When a large syllabus is to be covered, the lecture method is always suitable. The students listen attentively at a lecture, making it impressive. So the students, if you don't pay attention, you will not gain anything. So most students are always attentive. It is a convenience method for teachers, very convenient for the teachers, and inconvenient for the students as well. When you are picking the lecture method, you have to be considerate and put the students first. The teacher and the learner feel satisfied at their respective places. Such satisfaction may be denounced as false, but it is real. The merits of the lecture method. The method gives false sense of satisfaction, which is very dangerous and harmful. The students feel like they are satisfied, but I remember one of the earlier videos I made mention of. That's why the students will tell that they understand what you have taught. But when they go back, or when they are given examination or class tests and other things, then they fail woefully. They'll tell that when you think they answer, when you go home, you forget because that's the lecture method. They didn't participate, but they feel that they understand. Meanwhile, they don't understand. It's very dangerous. The students remain mostly passive in the learning process. That's one of the demerits. They are mostly passive. They are not active. The student may remain inattentive during the lecture. Experimentation is completely neglected. No opportunity to discover. Nothing. Experiment is not allowed in the lecture method. It's encourage rote learning. Students end up memorizing information without understanding them. That's the lecture method. It encourages rote learning. Chew and pour, as we say it. So that's end the session.